All right, so when you're passing an oral tube on a cow, you're gonna have three things. You've got your tube here, and these come in 3 different sizes. So this is the large size, like the largest of the sizes. So there's 2 ends of the tube. There's this end that has a hole in it, and then there's this end that's got a wide taper. So the end with a hole in it is the hole that goes in the cow. The other end with the taper is what you're eventually going to get into your stomach. So the Christmas tree port on your stomach. So you have these things here. And then you're going to have a speculum. So this is a frick speculum. It was originally made to be a vaginal speculum, but I use it for an oral speculum in cows. If you don't have something like this, they're just going to eat through the tube. So you need to have something like this. So when I tube a cow, I just put the tube over my neck. And again, I'm aiming to put the end with the hole is the one that goes down the cow. Now there's all kinds of ways that you can measure, like put this tube up against the cow and eyeball how far in it's supposed to go. I think that getting yourself tied up in those measurements is just kind of confusing when you're doing it for the first few times. So I don't really trouble myself with that too much. Instead, I rely on what I'm hearing on the other end of the tube and what it feels like. So I'm gonna put this tube in my mouth once I pass it, and I'm gonna suck on it. If I feel resistance, that means I'm in the stomach. If I suck on it and it's like sucking through like a straw, that's just not in a cup, but just a straw in the air, then I'm in the lungs. The other way you figure out if you're in the right spot is you listen to it. If it's gurgly and you're feeling like air coming back at you, almost like a burp, you're in the stomach. But if it's just nothing's coming back at all, or you're getting a respiratory pattern like you're in the lungs. So that's how I tell myself. And then once you're in the stomach, you basically have all the room in the universe to adjust yourself. So you can go in deeper, further, adjust. So I'm gonna give myself a I know, I'm not gonna do great for this. You can, I think it's gonna help us. So I'm gonna put my back up to her. So for a lot of things where you need head restraint in a cow, you want the head cranked to the side. But anytime you tube anything, you want the cow to have their head and neck outstretched as much as possible. So anytime they have their neck sort of like scrunched up, that's when you're at risk of tubing the airway instead of the GI tract. So we're not gonna crank, is that a pigeon?
I think so.
Yeah. We're not gonna crank her head to the side real hard. We're almost just gonna let her be loose, which is gonna stink. But, okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find that spot in the corner of the mouth. So I'm gonna use my fingers to make that spot. And then I'm gonna shove the speculum in, and then I'm gonna straighten it out. And I'm going to try to pass it towards the left side of the head. So I don't want it to be central or to the right, so towards the left side. Oh my God. So I'm in, but I'm up against that bump at the back of the tongue. So I'm gonna drop my ankle here. There we go, straighten out. You saw how I straightened out really easily, right? Once I cleared that bump, that's the hard part.
Oh.
So now,
sorry, I'm trying to pay attention at the same time.
the hole, I'm just gonna run it through. And the whole time I have my elbow, or not my elbow, my wrist anchored against her head, holding on to this. You don't wanna lose these, because they'll swallow the tube gum. Hitting a little resistance, so I'm just gonna wiggle, yep, until I pass it. All right, so now, let's see. Okay, I can hear stomach gurgling. Definitely getting resistance. I don't feel like I'm all the way in yet though. There we go. Wanna listen?
I want to listen. Oh yeah.
I can smell it. It smells like rumen fluid. Okay, so at this point, I would, here we go, connect the Christmas tree, and then you'd put that end in a bucket and you'd start pumping. So let's pretend we pump some stuff in. When I'm done, I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna kink the tube, and then I'm gonna pull the tube out, and then pull the speculum. Capiche?